These spelling lessons are produced for non-profit purposes out of love for Jesus Christ. This spelling lesson, we're going to look at long vowels and some spelling rules associated with them. We're going to look at the last vowel, U, first, since it's a bit tricky. The other long vowels simply say their name, but long U can either say U or U. This is because it is difficult to say the Y sound after some consonants, so it is dropped after these consonants. For example, try to say Rayul. It's hard to say, so the Y sound is dropped and you just say U. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y, and sometimes even W. As you can see, in these combinations, W is part of the letter team making the sound. It is the part of the letter team making the sound of U or U. It is acting as a U. These are some of the main ways that the long U is made. Again, it can either be U or U, depending on the consonant that comes before the U. It can be made with a single U at the end of the word, a U with a silent E, and UI within the word or UE at the end, and also EU within the word and EW at the end. It's not common, but IEU, IEW, or EAU can also make long U. Now, we're going to compare and contrast some short and long syllables. Words that end in A will have an ah sound like in pa or ma, but syllables that end in A will have their long A sound like in baker. Other syllables that end in a vowel will have their long vowel sound, and syllables that end in a consonant will have their short vowel sound. Try these now. Ab, eb, ib, ob, ub, ib. Bay, bee, bi, bo, boo, bi. Now these, remember DA is its syllable, not its word. Ad, ed, id, odd, ud, id. Day, dee, die, do, do, die. We have a new syllable division rule. In words that have one consonant, divide before the consonant. And remember, syllables ending in a vowel are long. The first word is a reminder of our old syllable division rule where we divide between two consonants, with syllables ending in a consonant being short. So, that's why the first word with two consonants is short, canning, and the second with one consonant is long, caning. This also works if there are two different consonants. You divide between, or divide before if there is one consonant. Two consonants, divide between, short. One consonant, divide before, long. Our new syllable division rule also works in words that start with a vowel. You'll divide before the consonant, making the vowel long. Now, we'll look at long A. Long A is made with an A and a silent E, or AI within the word and AY at the end. This is because native English words will not end in an I, so the I changes to the Y at the end of the word, AI changing to AY at the end. In these words, the E serves two purposes. It is keeping the C's and G's soft, and it is also making the A long. EI and EY can also say long A. Again, I within the word changes to Y at the end of the word because native English words do not end with an I. Here are some ways to make long E. It is not often made with a silent E. It is usually either made with EE or EA. This is because English has a lot of homophones, words that sound the same but are spelled differently and have different meanings. These are some examples of some homophones. This is more of a pronunciation rule. The is pronounced with a long E before words beginning with a vowel, like in the end. it is schwa to before words beginning with a consonant, as in the beans. Here is another syllable division rule. Words will divide between words. So, if you have compound words like these made up of smaller words, you will divide between the smaller words. You divide between the words bee and hive, making beehive, and between the words way and laid, making waylaid. And a spelling rule. Words in English will not end in a V. An E will be added. A funny phonics joke, okay, maybe not that funny, but at any rate it might help you remember, is that the V's will fall over if they are alone, so the E's are added to help them stand up. So, in these words here, the EA already makes the long E sound. The V is just being added because English words, native English words, will not end in a V. And F and V are consonant pairs. The word leaf changes to leaves when you make it plural. Now we're going to spell a word. Spell heave as in heave-ho or heave a log. Heave. Here it is. The E is just so that the V does not end the word. In longer words, IE can also make the long E sound. Remember, in short words, it says I as in pie. The E after the C here is to keep the C soft. A long E sound at the end of a word is usually made in a Y, and often with an LY at the end, but words of French origin can end in IE. This doesn't happen as often, but there are a few words of French origin that end with a long E sound at the end with IE. Now spell another word. Spell happy, as in happy birthday. Happy. The long E at the end is spelled in its most common way, with a Y, and you need two P's to keep the A short. Here are some ways to make long I. Syllables in words ending in an I or a Y, an I or Y with a silent E, and the letter team IGH. In these words, with a silent E, the C says S because it is before an E. The E also makes the vowel long. A C is often used to make the S sound in words like these because words ending in SE often has the Z sound, like in the word rise. In short words, IE has the long I sound, although it has another sound in longer words. Also, a few short words have UY as long I, as in the word guy here. Remember, native English words will not end in V. So, words with a V and an ending E can either be short or long because sometimes the E is just there to keep the V from ending the word. The first group are all long, with the E also making the vowel long. And the last two words, the vowel is short. The E is simply keeping the V from ending the word. LIVE can either be long or short, live or live, depending on the context. IVE at the end of long words is often short, IV. Even without these things involved, sometimes there are exceptions. The first word is long, where you would expect it to be short, and the second word is short, where you would expect it to be long. INE at the end of a word is often pronounced with a short I. Here are some ways to spell long O, a vowel at the end of a word or a syllable, with a silent E, and OA within the word. At the end of a word, it will either be OW or OE. These next words are also exceptions. In Old English, they had E's at the end. They dropped their E's, but they retained their long sound. As you can see, most of these have L's or D's in them, and they follow an O or an I and then have two consonants. Again, they used to have silent E's on the end. The E's were dropped, but their long sound remains. This chart shows some of the ways you can make short A and long A. Left side of line 1 ends in a consonant short. Right side ends in a vowel long. Line 2, consonant short, and on the right side ends in a silent E long. The last three lines, lines 3, 4, and 5, two consonants you divide between, making the vowel short. On the right side, one consonant you divide before it, making the vowel long. For this one, first we'll look at the left side, then the right. Left side ends in a consonant short. Two consonants divides between short. Now the right side ends in a vowel long. Two E's long. And the last two, one consonant divide before long. And it works in basically the same way for short and long I. Also, the same pattern for short and long O. And for U. However, remember that U can either be U or, depending on the consonant before the U, the Y sound is dropped and it's just U. Now we'll look at some exceptions to our syllable division rules. Usually, two consonants divide between, making the vowel short. In these words, the blends stay together, and you divide before the blend, making the vowel long. This exception doesn't happen very often. Here are some examples of exceptions in the opposite direction. Usually, you would divide before the consonant, making the vowel long. But in these words, they are exceptions, so they divide after the consonant, making the vowel short. Most of these types of exceptions come from Latin, and since there are a lot of words in English that come from Latin, there are a fair number of this type of exception, although it is still more common for the rule to work than for the exception. So try long first. Some words can be pronounced two ways. Usually, its verb form will be long and its noun form short. I present you this present. The verb is long, the noun is short. I refuse to take out the refuse. Again, verb long, noun short. And it can even happen with a shorter word like this. Again, verb is long and the noun is short. We're going to review our syllable division with these words. The first one divides between two words and also between two consonants. The second one before a consonant pair. Railway, embrace. Try these two. They both divide between two consonants. Inseam, unseen. Now try dividing these. They both divide after words. Lifeless, highness. And these. While they both divide after words, the second one is also dividing between two consonants, between the T and the M. Toenail, oatmeal. And two more to divide. They both divide after words. The O is schwad to a in some. Clueless, gruesome. And we'll practice a bit more syllable division, this time with nonsense words. Try these 3 nonsense words. They all divide between words. The first between a consonant and a consonant pair, the second between 2 consonants, and the last also between 2 consonants. Sail clone, teen suit, float day. Now try dividing these last 3 nonsense words. They are all compound words dividing between the 2 words. Cave night, blue tune, time toe. As we read through James, look at the long vowels. They will be underlined. Also, look for exceptions in red. Exceptions that are both long vowels and exceptions will be both in red and underlined. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring in goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say unto him, Sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, Stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts? Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him? But ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you, and draw you before the judgment seats? Do not they blaspheme that worthy name by the which ye are called? If ye fulfill the royal law according to the Scripture, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, Do not commit adultery, said also, Do not kill. Now, if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath shewed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith, and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked, and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled. Notwithstanding, ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Shew me thy faith without thy works, and I will shew thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe, and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works, when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? And the scripture was fulfilled which saith, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness. And he was called the friend of God. Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works, when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.